Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Nacho Riesco, and here I am again, like every month, talking about the ZBrush for jewelry design. So welcome everybody. So welcome who are watching this streaming, and thanks to all of you who are watching this recording video. And today we will continue working on this piece. I started 2 months ago. So this is going to be the third video, the third streaming I make about this design. So I was making this design. This is a brooch, this little bird brooch. So today we are gonna work on it a little bit more. We can take a step further to start working on the stone settings. This is how it looks like from the previous streaming. So, and today we're going to jump from this to this. So you can see, maybe you can see only few changes, but I will talk to you about how to add all of the prongs, all of the necessary parts, which is going to hold all of the stones in place. And of course we are going to work in the inside, and let's see how far we go with it. I will try. Well, I was thinking about to make the latest or the last streaming about this design, but probably it will need a little bit more time. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure if I will keep working on it next month, or maybe I will spend some free time working on it. So just for going directly to the renders and for setting up the necessary final STL file for 3D printing. Let's see. I already have something in mind for the next streaming, for the next design, but let's see. So now we have 2 hours ahead, so we're working on it. So let's see how far we go with this. So welcome again. Let me know if the music is working well. Let me know if you can hear my voice. So I mean that the music is not too loud in the background. I apologize about my voice because my throat, it's a little bit damaged, so I will try to speak slowly. So I hope it's not going to be a problem. So hey Fexter, welcome as usual. I really appreciate your support during all of my streamings. You are the first who is saying hi. I really appreciate it. And Hudson 16, that's awesome, thank you very much. And let's see what you can, let me check the chats. Well, let's work with that. The Substance Designer. As far as I know, Substance Designer, it's a 3D software. I'm sorry because my knowledge about other softwares is very poor. So as far as I know, Substance Designer is a 3D modeling software. I already have seen some demonstrations on some other artists using it, and it looks very nice so far. But I have to say that the only tool that I use for 3D modeling or for 3D sculpting is ZBrush. I haven't got any knowledge about any other 3D software or even any other CAD software. And when I'm saying CAD softwares, I'm referring to jewelry CAD software. So I don't have any knowledge about Rhino, about Matrix, Redesign, or whatever, any other different software. So all the stuff that I do is made 100% within ZBrush. This is the reason why I'm trying to stream here, talking about jewelry mainly, of course. So all of my streamings are about jewelry. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let me check all of my settings first before I start the sculpting. Maybe the music is a little bit low. I am still searching the right settings for the music, like all the streamings. Okay, let's go. Hudson 16, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I try to be here for being as more useful as possible to all of you. So that means that I will try to pay attention to your comments and to your questions. So I will be glad to help you in any case you need any information about the ZBrush or about what I'm doing at the moment. Of course, my main knowledge it's about using ZBrush for jewelry design, but I also make many different kind of commissions, but all of them always related to digital sculpting. Hey, Esupierno, buongiorno. And it is not in the evening. This is good evening, or I don't know how to say it in Italian. This is the first thing that came to my mind. Buongiorno, but giorno it's in the morning, I guess. Welcome. Glad that you are here watching the live. Yeah, it's charming. Yes, you are right. So this is the main feeling that I am looking for with this design, is trying to make a small brooch to wear it on your jacket. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. So it's just, let's try to make it as more beautiful or charming, as you said, as possible. And we came from here, as I said before. This is where we left the design on the previous streaming. We were making the seats or the necessary negative spaces for the stones. In my free time, I've been spending a bit of time on it, and I made this. So I came from here. You can see here I already have all of the spaces for the stones, and this is now here I have the prongs. Just for making a recap or summarizing, or just for not being here repeating the same things all over and over again. So I will tell you how I made this, just to show you. If we start from here, I already made one custom brush, is this one, where I have different meshes. In this case, I'm going to select this one, and for example, let's select the branch. And you can see here we can start, this is by default, works with, well, let's select the eye better, because it hasn't subdivision levels, yeah, right? Okay, so it's the brush by default has the curve option active. So if I go to the stroke menu, I open the curve section, I turn this off, so you can see here we change from the stroke to drag rectangle. So you can see here we are able to start placing all of the prongs. When we are talking about prongs, we are talking about these little cylinders that we are having on the surface. The reason why we are placing them is for holding the stones in place. When the stone setter is going to place the stone on each cavity, till we are having things, something like this. So the first things to do before start placing them, it's to take one very important process or step before going to the C plugin. I'm sure, or if not, I strongly recommend you download this plugin. It is an external plugin. You can find it on the ZBrush plugin website. So where we can control the insert mesh in millimeters. So this is going to be very useful when we are placing things using any other insert brush. So we can control the size of the mesh that we are placing on any surface. In this case, it's going to be very important, because when we talk about jewelry, we should have under control the measurements during the whole process. So we need to know how big the elements are. In this case, if we are talking about prongs, we are going to move between 0.6 and 0.8 millimeter. So we are talking about objects smaller than 1 millimeter, almost half a millimeter. So as I said before, between 0.6 and 0.8. And the way that we can control it, let me check. So maybe I'm gonna select the beak better. Okay, so the way that we have to control the measurements of the size of the mesh is using this plugin, IMM Draw Size. So very easy to use. So for example, I'm going to set up here to 0.7 millimeter, just pressing this button. So at any time when we are placing the prong, at any time when we are growing the mesh, we press the control key, we are gonna block. We're gonna tell the ZBrush fit this mesh to 0.7 millimeter. If we can take, let me select the units first, going to the scale master, set the scene scale. We're gonna work in millimeters. So clicking on this box, so ZBrush will start recognizing millimeters as units of scale. And then if we go from the gizmo to transpose line, if I zoom in, if I start taking the measurement from left to right to this circle, we can read on our top left corner, it is ZBrush is saying that this distance is 0.689, maybe it's closer to 0.6 instead of 0.7. Maybe we can read it also here at my bottom left. You can see 0.58996. So let me check it if we did it right. So it is 0.7 millimeter, right? So from this point we can start placing them one by one. We can control the depth of the cylinder. You can see now is laying exactly in the surface, but we are looking for that it goes a little bit inside. So for doing that, we can do it controlling this graphic. You can find this graphic going to brush and depth. You will find this graphic where the black horizontal line means the surface, and if we place this here, you can see we can control the depth of the insertion that we are doing. So in this case, it's going to be a little bit something about like this, a little bit more. We need to know that a little portion of the cylinders should be inside of the mesh. Something like this should work. So for example, let's go from 0.7, maybe better, to 0.75. Depending on the sizes of the stone, we will need to be changing the size of the prongs. Depending on, for example, we are trying to put big stones or small stones. For example, in this case, it will be better to use 0.8 millimeter. So, and now from this point, it's just a matter of start placing them one by one, and then, for example, if you are not happy with any of them, you can move it before going to the next. We can now start placing them like this, and now we can be placing all of the necessary prongs one by one. Always trying to put at least 4 prongs for each stone. That means that we need to be sure that the stones or the hems are going to be safe placed on the surface. For that, we are going to need at least three fixing or points or prongs necessary. For example, for this one is going to be enough 3, even if we are using a smaller stone or a smaller hem than this one. But if we put an extra 5 or even 4, it's gonna be even better. But keeping that in mind, we will be working placing them one by one till having something like this. Okay, let me read your comments. Leo, thank you very much, glad you like it. Hello Kemal, welcome. Elialgo, welcome. How does this get printed for jewelry? This is going to be printed with a wax printer. That means that the material of the printer is going to be wax. That means that the printer is not that the regular printers. Probably you know that when you have a liquid resin, that means it's like a machine that it's using an injection of the wax. When he is drawing the different layers, he'll building the whole volume. So then the reason why we are using wax instead of resin is because using the traditional lost wax casting method, using wax, we have more success. It's more successful that we are using resin. You can melt or you can use resin if your machine or your printer prints with resin, but using wax, we are having better results than using resin. This is what I forgot to tell you at the beginning. Don't forget that this is from top to bottom. This is about 27 millimeter high. We are making a very small piece, very small object. We are talking about jewelry. Most of the time we're making small objects, and this is going to be something like this. This is small. I'm just showing to you the the size of my chest compared with my chest. So we should keep this in mind during the sculpting and designing process. So we are creating very small objects. But we are talking about wax printers. As far as I know, the printers that my supplier is using is printed at 16 microns layer resolution. The printer is able to retain or to reproduce very well the fine detail and the small details. Baxter, in your experience, do you find a difference between the prongs that you use and the ones with more like sachet shape? Yeah, that's a good question. Sachet shape, I never heard that before, but I know what you mean. So when we are talking about prongs, maybe let me put this here, something like this. So you can see here that we can my prong has something like this. The prongs that you are referring to, something is having a shape something like this, and we can use a third option when we are using this shape. This is mine, okay, and this is yours. So the reason why I prefer to use this, most of the times, okay, I can say not always, but in some cases I send out my files for 3D printing and for casting and so on. But most of the time I just here trying to show my skills as a digital sculptor, and for the main purpose is making a render of the piece. This is one of the reasons why I prefer to don't use this. We can call this option 100% full square or hard surface looking prongs. It's because when we are rendering a piece, it's better to have a kind of curve on the top because the metal reflections works better. But the reason why I don't like to use this one, it's because when you need to print a real jewelry object or jewelry design, it's much better to use this one or this one. I don't like to use this one because you know that when the printers and even on the casting, the machines or during the casting process, you are going to lose these corners. So you can start sending the file like this one, like it is, but you will get even more rounded. So the advice or the tip is trying to send file for printing a little bit as better defined as possible, instead of in terms of corners or peaks or better defined details, because you will lose part of the corners or part of the hard surface looking during the different processes. But another reason is because when you are putting the stone, for example, this is the surface, this is the stone, and this part of the stone lays inside of the metal, and here you will get the prongs. You will get one prong here, another one prong here. So the stone setter is going to put each stone on its own cavity, on its own space, and after with a special, and then next step is trying to push the prongs against the stone, just for making the stone placement a little bit safer. So they will try, the stone setter will push in this direction against the gem or the crystal or the stone, and as a second part of the process, he's going to use a kind of a tool, like the shape is something like this. I don't know the word in English. It's when you are having a kind of cavity, something like this. It's like okay, this is the handle, and they will start pressing this part of the tool against the head or against the ending of each prong, and they will devastate, or they will remove the necessary material for going from this shape to this shape. So from doing this method, you will get a much more shiny finishing on the surface. So many jewelers and many of my clients are requesting to me that just leave the prongs like this, because as here they are going to use this tool after the process. So it's like polishing or devastating the prongs one by one. It's going to be better to leave them this way instead of sausage shape or 100% rounded shape. Or I'm trying to stay in the middle, it's my option. So not this one and not this one. This is the reason why I choose this one. It's because you can find a balance between this process and the rendering purposes that I'm looking for my pieces. So it's but maybe the main answer to you, it's talk with your stone setter or with the person it's going to be in charge for the stone setting, and he's going to have the last word about the finishing of the prongs, because some of them prefers rounded shape ending, and another one prefers this kind of more square ending for using this method. So there isn't any 100% success rule for everything. Okay, Nacho will render this piece. Maybe not, because most of the time I just spend my time here using ZBrush, showing to you my designing process and my sculpting process. So I use Keyshot maybe as a private, or maybe I can make a streaming on my YouTube channel just for showing to you my rendering process for this piece. I will think about it. Of course, I will make a render, of course. And Riesco, thanks for the information. I mean, it is converted to metal. No, this is Riesco. This is going to be converted into metal using the lost wasting process. So you start from a positive, from the, it's like a prototype or the printed piece. Doesn't matter. I prefer wax, but doesn't matter if you are printing the piece in wax or resin, and then using the lost wax casting process, you will convert and you will go from resin or wax to metal, just using the traditional lost wax casting process. There are a lot of information on YouTube about the lost wax casting process, very common used in jewelry. Hey Harsh, thank you very much to you. Hey Self, welcome. And let me check. No more questions, no more comments. Okay, stop talking, stop working. So we have the main design already made with all of the details on the surface. We already have the distribution of the different pavés or the different hems layouts. We also have the prongs, which are necessary to hold the stones or hems in place. So next step to take here is to start making booleans. So that's why here I have the branch and here I have the bird, because I already have them separated. You can see each of them grouped inside of two different folders. It's because it's going to be time to start making booleans. So you can see here we have here all of the necessary subtool necessary to make compose or for make the bird. So let's hide this, and now I'm going to make a boolean mesh, right? So let's go into here, let's put it here, and then boolean folder. Let's see if we are having success with this. This is not going to be very heavy, but sometimes when you're making boolean with many different kind of meshes, different kind of topologies, we have been working with Dynamesh, with series measure. Maybe in some cases you can have problems. In this case, ZBrush is telling to us boolean operation has success, but several warnings. Okay, let's see which warnings we are talking about. So you can see this is the result. So okay, so no problem, everything looks as one single mesh. The way that I have to check, you can see how it looks like with the poly grouping, with the different poly groups. we have the different polygroups based on each polygroups from each subtool, individual subtool, but the method that you can check that everything is watertight and should work for 3D printing. So you can go here to the polygroup section and click on auto groups. So if we have more than one mesh, ZBrush will apply a single polygroup to each of them. So now using Ctrl Shift and tap here on this surface, if I use now Ctrl Shift and drag, you can see something is happening here. That means that we are having this little floating tiny portion of mesh here in the inside. That means that you can Ctrl Shift and now delete hidden and now close holes, and I think it's done. Let me check if we go here and we see it from the inside, go into double, you can see now it is completely closed and watertight. This is how it looks like from the inside. And next step to take, I'm going to proceed to make it hollow, to remove the internal material. And for doing that, I'm going to use the only external software that I use different than ZBrush. So first step to take before sending out the file, it's decimating the mesh. So decimating the mesh. You can see we're currently having almost 2 million. Let's see how it works with 250,000 polygons. So we are going to remove a big amount of polygons, because where we are sending out and sending back files from ZBrush to other softwares, it's going to be necessary to reduce the amount of polygons, because we are going to be able to work with such amount of polygons inside of ZBrush, but probably other softwares want like that amount of information. So this is what we get. Maybe we can take a step forward and going from 250 to 150. So remove is the recommendation here is trying to make your mesh as light as possible, and that's it. So you can see we go to the scale master, it is 25.96. Maybe we can say we're working with a piece of 27 millimeter height. Let me see, 27 by 6.3 by 14.15, left to right, top to bottom, 26 on in depth, 7 millimeter. I'm sorry. So we are talking about, I always try to check my measurements with my caliper on my hand, just for trying to have a feeling of the real object, just for trying to recognize how big the measurements are, because sometimes when you are just reading numbers, it's difficult to figure out the size of the object. So now we can send it out, export, and I used here an OBJ format to send out files from ZBrush to other softwares, and this is going to be the bird, some bird, an OBJ format. Awesome, thank you. You're welcome, Maxon. I think that it makes easier to split the prong with two stones. Share it. To split the prong, what do you mean? Because you are not splitting any prongs. You are the prongs that you have are the prongs that you are placed on the stone on the surface. The reason why we are using different kind of finishing for the prong is just for finishing purposes. So if you are looking for creating a 3D digital file for rendering, I recommend you to make them as softer or as smooth as possible, because the light will react better. And for 3D printing and for casting, it's better to leave them as more square as possible, because after the polishing and after the tool that you are using to give shape to the prongs, it's going to be better to have more material to devastate instead of having the precise and exact amount of material. It's just for having a bit of tolerance between the raw or the piece that I have from the casting and the piece that I have after polishing, after retouching, and so on. So it's better to have a bit more material than necessary. Yeah, I can share my UE setup. You go to my website. You can find my website under my name, nachoriesco.com. And now you go to the resources section and you scroll down. You will find my custom interface. Also, you will find different resources. Most of them are for free, not very cheap prices, but here you will find my custom UI if you want to use it. Go into inside of my website. Share the prong between two stone, I think he means. Yeah, maybe for example this here. For example, here you are having this prong is shared by this hem and this hem. Depending on the surface that you need to cover, most of the time, maybe you can, for example, here instead of putting only one big one here, I prefer to add two, just for having more reflections or a better finishing, instead of having all of the prong almost with the same size and here in the middle a big one exactly in the middle. In my opinion, doesn't look good, so I try to find the balance, and also to try to cover or to left as less empty spaces as possible. So for example, here we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prongs only for one hem. So as I said before, if you have 4, it's enough, but if you have even more, it's gonna be better. But for example, here I have 4, here I have another 5, another 5, here 4, depending on it's. You should try to find the balance between cover the empty spaces and make the stones placement as safer as possible. It's tricky. I need to learn a lot about the stone setting yet, so because there isn't any magical rule or general rules depending on the kind of design that you are doing, depending on the kind of distribution that you are doing, depending on the stone or the sizes of the different hems that you have on the surface. Well, it's a matter of trial and error and try to find the best distribution. I noticed that at the end of the patterns there are 3 numbers. What do you mean? That at the end of the patterns there are 3 numbers? What do you mean? The one below the eye? Here? No. Are you talking about? I'm sorry. I don't understand you. Yeah, let me know. What do you mean? So let's start open the software I was referring to. The name is Mesh Mixer. It is from Autodesk. I'm being honest, I only use 4 buttons of the software. I know that you can do many different things with this software. This is a very strong, powerful tool, and as far as I know, it is still free. I don't know, I'm not sure, 100% sure, because I downloaded many years ago. I'm still using the free version at least, but the only buttons that I press is the import button. So you will go to here and importing the mesh. You just export it from ZBrush, is this, and then go into edit, hollow, and then we will be able to create an internal shell with an specific offset between the external wall and the internal wall. By default, the software gives to me a 2mm offset. This is very much for jewelry. For example, if we are having in mind to making a stone setting, maybe a good number could be trying to, if we talk about jewelry, the decision will mainly depend on if we are about to cast the piece in gold or in silver. Okay. If we are having the plan that we are having is cast the pieces in gold, we should be more careful about the wall thickness, because we need to spend less amount of material, less money. But for example, if we are going to print, or I'm sorry, we are going to cast the piece in silver on another, with other cheaper material, we are not going to be so worried about the weight. Or talking about the weight, we are talking about the internal cavity, and we are talking about the wall thickness. But try to have a good balance. Maybe you can say, if you add, for example, here 0.9 millimeter, or maybe 0.85 millimeter, and then solid accuracy, it's depending on if the software will start curving inside of the main volume, and as more accuracy we set up here, we will get better results. About the mesh density is about the same concept about the mesh density we are using inside of ZBrush. For example, when we are using Dynamesh, of course this setting is directly connected with the accuracy. That means that we are adding more polygons, we will be able to get more accuracy. So just a general rule, you don't want to be here waiting too much time, so almost at the maximum, 0.85 millimeter, this one here, I don't care about the other ones. So then update the hollowing, just clicking on the update hollow button again. So the software will start calculating again the offset, and will start making the internal object again based on the new settings. Visual sigue siendo gratis, me alegro, pues te lo recomiendo totalmente. Hey Sun, thank you very much. You can visit my website for watching my other of my designs, render, casted pieces, printed pieces. You can see here, this is the final result. Maybe we can go further with, instead of 0.85, let's say 0.8 millimeter. So let's curve a little bit more from the inside. Nacho, ¿podrías dar un estimado de lo que se podría cobrar por un trabajo de esos? Hay poca, por decir nada, de información. Claro, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna answer to be self in Spanish. I will try to translate it after. He is asking that if there is any information about the prices or the amount that I will charge for this kind of design. Bueno, es que es normal que no encuentres información sobre precios, porque los precios se van estimando y se van fijando en base a una serie de parámetros que dependen mucho del tipo de diseño, de tu experiencia, de tu nivel de trabajo, y entonces resulta difícil generalizar hablando de precios. Entonces, yo siempre digo que cuando hablo de precios en joyería siempre es a partir de 100 euros. A partir de 100 euros ya, a partir de ahí, para este tipo de diseños, ya lo que tú quieras cobrar en base a lo que tú consideras que es la calidad de tu trabajo. Entonces si tú fijas ese precio le llega al cliente y el cliente te lo rechaza, pues la forma, o por lo menos mi forma de verlo, es seguir luchando para que encontrar esos clientes que valoren ese precio. En cuanto valoren ese precio, estarán valorando tu trabajo. Entonces ahí es cuando tú podrás empezar a crecer. Si empiezas a bajar los precios por debajo de esa barrera, estarás infravalorando tu trabajo y le estarás dando facilidades a los clientes que probablemente no se merezcan, ¿no? Porque el trabajo vale más de lo que estás cobrando. Soon I just started to make my school ring with moving chain. Oh yeah, that's cool. I just for giving to you a support, if you go to my YouTube channel, okay, if any of you want to have all of my links grouped in one single place, you can see it here, my link tree. Anyway, I will share the link here on the chat. So now, if you go to my link tree, if you go to my YouTube channel, you are going here. I have 3 different tutorials about making a skull ring. is this one, this one, and this one. This is from the beginning, from the sculpting till the rendering. So you will see my whole process for making a skull ring. Maybe it's gonna be useful for you if you are currently making a skull ring. So just check it out. Okay, this is what we get. This is 0.8 millimeter with a good definition in the inside. So let's accept it and let's file, export, and overwrite the previous file we exported. We say yes. De nada, Visual. Hablar de precios es, la verdad es que es complicado. Es complicado. Sobre todo cuando intentas de dar respuestas generales, ¿no? Que le puedan servir a la gente, pero se basa mucho en experiencia personal y del mercado, de la pieza, un montón de parámetros. Okay, we already exported, so the next step to take is coming back to ZBrush. We can select the same mesh. I'm gonna place this here at the bottom. I'm gonna create a new folder. This is going to be the hollowing, and then let's import. So using the same imported backs. Okay, so remember that we are having two different objects, the external shell and the internal shell. The way that we have inside of ZBrush to split them into two different subtools is going to split two parts. ZBrush is going to ask us, are we sure? Yes, we want to split them. Always okay. So now we are having, this is going to be the internal. Okay, this is the internal. This is the internal shell, and this is the object itself. If we turn off the transparency, we can see here the two parts. By default, for example, here, if we turn this off, we turn off the double option. Now we are watching the mesh from the inside. We should go to display properties and flip the mesh. We're having something like this. And for example, when you are having issues or ugly parts or bad finishings like this kind of floating tail that we have here, this is very good to use now the Sculpting Pro with the smooth brush. This is very good for destroy or get rid of the unwanted parts that we don't need. As we are having a low amount of polygons, maybe we can convert this into a Dynamesh. Go into the Dynamesh. If we turn on the, by default with the resolution of 128, ZBrush is giving to me 1 million. Maybe it's too much for this mesh. Let's reduce it. Let's stay around here. I'm looking for, okay, 2 million now. I'm looking for, let's see, yeah, I'm looking for 500,000. And here we are reaching 600,000 polygons. Now we can start polish by feature. Just start polishing a little bit the mesh like this. And now we are going to need an extra mesh for making the opening on the back. This is the available surface that we have for making the opening. That means that we will try to avoid to go farther or closer to the border or to the limits of the back part. And a good method to do this is using a mask. You can start painting your mask, for example, like this, or maybe even better, I will show you another different method. You can make a whole mask grabbing this, and now go into the mask options, go into the masking section. You can start shrinking the mask. Oops. You can start shrinking the mask. You can sharpen the mask. You can dilute if you want. You can do this. It's like you start making an offset between the initial limit of the mask and the new one. And like this, maybe you can start grow the mask, sharpening the mask, maybe grow the mask, sharpening the mask, maybe grow a little bit more. And now we can extract. Go into the extract and extract this part, accept. So this is what we get. We can remove the existing mask as we are having polygroups already created. front view, back view, and the profile. We can start polishing by feature this. And for example, if you notice that you start polishing because you are looking for a more regular shape, and you start polishing and nothing happens, it is happening something, but we can see too much the results. Maybe it's gonna be a good idea to start changing the resolution of the mesh or the density of the mesh. Go into the series measure. Let's go to half. Let's say to ZBrush, where we are looking for the half amount of polygons, but we want to keep the polygroups. And let's adapt this size to 0, and let's click on series measure like this. Come on. It is coming. Okay, like this. Okay, kind of an issue is happening there. No, okay, no problem. We're having less polygons. You can see now the effect of the polishing. It's faster now. We can make another series measure for having even less polygons. So we can keep polishing, and that's it. Like this. And now we can make it thicker. And this is going to be the opening part. So we're not gonna start making boolean. So this negative icon, and turn on the boolean. So we are watching now the mesh from the inside with the cavity. Now, so we can now grab this, and now maybe let's try to find the limits. You can see here we are reaching the limit. No, we should. There you go, like this. Trying to go as closer as possible to the limits. You can see here the limits are here, so let's keep them. Example. So keep in mind that bigger we make the hole, we are removing weight of the piece, like this, like this. Maybe we can go further here, but it's not going to be. Maybe let's try to make it this more regular. More regular shape. Oops, like this. I think like this is going to be enough. Keep in mind that we are going to need the necessary space for the knee, or for the system, for the brooch. So for that we are going to need the surface for welding or for soldering the necessary piece. So I think for that reason maybe we can make the head a little bit more solid, like this. Opening here, so the knee will go. I'm thinking about this. This is going to be a welding point, and the knee will go here. This would from here to here. So we are going to have a necessary welding point here, another one here. We need to know the space available. We can grab now this is where here we have 4 millimeters, almost 4 by 3 millimeters. Then now at this point it's going to be time to start talking with our jewelry supplier, just for knowing which is going to be the necessary space for soldering the extra part that we are going to need for making the brooch. Let me go to my Pinterest. I will try to find an image. Okay, no, I already have images of pins. Let me find it first, because most of the time when I'm trying to explain things in English, I'm feeling that I'm not using the right words. Maybe you are not understanding me. Let me find one here, and here, and here. Okay. I'm talking about this. You can see here, this is the needle or the pin system. Maybe we can call this needle. And here we're gonna need two extra. Let me put this here. Two extra welding points where we are going to add this here and this here, and the needle will go from top to bottom. So we are gonna need a necessary surface for making the soldering of this external piece. Or this is not necessary to include this on the printed piece. They can solder it or weld it once casted. Here you can see another example. Here you can see more examples about pins or needles or a brooch or maybe something like this. And saying you will need the soldering points here and here. And for that reason, we should be thinking about it. And that's the reason why maybe it's gonna be necessary to leave an empty space here. But as now we don't know how big it should be, that's the reason why I said before it's a good point to start talking with the company or the shop that it's going to supply that piece for knowing the real measurements. But now we don't know it. But let's try to make it something like this. Okay, so this is what we get. Let me save this, and this is going to be number 7. Lately I'm having a lot of problem when I'm saving files. I don't know if you are having the same issue. It's probably a problem about that comes from my hard drive. I don't know. The boy, how to know how much detail to add so it is not lost in the printing? Yeah, good question. Good questions. The answer to that question is should be based on your experience. So your experience comes from the 3D printer you are using, from the casting house you are using. So it's a matter of learning. So just sending files for 3D printing. So check them to know how far you can go with the details. There isn't any specific general rule that I can give you, depending on the kind of design that you are doing, depending on the size, depending on the amount of detail that you are putting on the surface, most of the time depending on the kind of finishing that you are looking for. It's not the same that you are looking for a mirror finishing, shiny looking on the surface, where it's going to be necessary to polish a lot the surface. So you're going to lose a lot of detail during the polishing process, or for example, you are looking for a matte or satin finishing. Okay, it's difficult to know how far you can go with the details. The best way to know it or to learn it is to start judging or learning from your 3D printings. How do you make sharp details like a shirt neck? I only have 2 basic ZBrush brushes. Shirt neck. I also know the pin you are making. Thank you very much. Riesco. Sharp detail like a shirt neck. Yes, the way I can show you, we can put this. For example, if I can grab a cylinder, for example, and let's make a polymesh. Let's figure out that this is the neck or something. So for example, if we are using with the symmetry X symmetry, we can start making the neck of a shirt, as you said, like this. I'm going to make something like this using brushes, right? Maybe probably one of the answers to your question could be drawing your own topology, but if you are talking about sculpting brushes, you can do this. Maybe for example, you can use the move brush with the back face, just for pulling this down, something like this. Let's put this closer, maybe something like this. Then let's turn off the back face. Now we're having something like this. For example, now it's time, you can see here how stretch the polygons are. So it's time for going to the series measure or having a new mesh, and we can start polishing the mesh or relaxing the mesh. For example, the answer to your question, or the key of the answer, is start using polygroups. For example, if we are looking for a sharp edge here on the top and here on the side, the way that you can do it, instead of fighting with the brushes for getting the results that you want, you can start painting a mask here. The mask goes in the limits of the border, of the corners of the sharp edge that you need. You can start painting a mask here. You can keep using your painting the mask here till the end. You can ZBrush is saving, so you can keep painting your mask. Let me turn off like this. Paint the mask, painting. So we are having this. So sharp the mask. So you can go Control Alt and Tab. So you're gonna start sharpening your mask, and now you can remove this. Control W. So with the Control W option, you will create a new polygroup based on the painted mask. And now it's as easy as going to polish by feature and start polishing your feature, and then create a new mesh using the existing polygroup. So now you're looking for a new mesh, probably with the same amount, keeping the groups. Don't apply any smoothing to my groups, and try to give me as more quads as possible, and then you will get something like this. Oh, maybe let me come back, because I need to remove this portion of the mesh that we don't need them. Like this. Okay, better. Now Control W. Now we're having a new polygroup, making it a new mesh, and now from this point you can start polishing, and now you will start getting the nice sharp details that you are looking for. So the way that you can do this, or you can go using the smooth groups up brush. You will find it here. Going to your lightbox, opening the brush section, going to the smooth folder, and you will find it here. The smooth, where are you? The smooth groups here. So at any time that you are smoothing without the Sculpting Pro, ZBrush will start recognizing the different polygroups, and you are going to be able to start making sharp corners like this. So with this method, you can start. For example, if you can apply a new polygroup here, you can start painting a new mask here, like this, like this, like this, and like this. Control W again. Now we're having a new polygroup, and now you're gonna start polishing, and now you will start getting your kind of crisp or sharp parts of face looking that you need for a neck of a shirt like this. So the key is start making polygroups and start polishing the mesh based on the polygroups you made. So you can use the polish by feature, or there are another option that you have here, polish by group, polish by feature, doesn't matter, or you can use the smooth by groups just for making. And from this point you can start transforming your neck, or giving the shape that you need, and that's it. Hope it helps you. Liska Rex. Thank you for the thanks for the question. Gacy D is asking, is there a way to measure the weight for the sculpting ZBrush? Yes and no. The answer is yes and no. The way that you can, let me check on my design, for example. This is where we are. Okay, this one, for example. This is the piece. This is a solid piece. You need to go to your transform option, and you will find this button, analyze selected subtool. If you are clicking on the button, ZBrush, the first step is selecting the units of measurement. In this case, we are going to work in millimeter. So that means that ZBrush will tell you the subtool's volume here is 0.584 milliliters or cubic centimeters. So if you know the density of the metal that you need, is just to multiply this value by the value of the density of the metal. Making that operation, you will get the weight of the selected subtool of the mesh. Previously, we were having an external plugin which doesn't work anymore. We are still waiting for the fixing, but at this moment, the only way to control the weight is knowing the volume and then multiplying the volume by the density of the metal. Maybe as far as I always forgot the numbers, maybe if I remember well, if we are talking about gold, we are multiplying the volume by 0.01, and we are using silver, we are multiplying the value by 0.015 or something like this. I'm making a jewelry piece for always if the customer are requesting a jewelry design for you, they are go at any time they will ask you about the weight. So the way that you can control the weight is doing that operation. Hey, DCN, yeah, long time. Young man, no, I'm not so young as you are thinking. I'm sure. Yeah, welcome here. Nice to know from you again. Hey, thank you very much, Liska. Glad you find it useful. Okay, let's keep working on this. So we already have this thing hollow, and then next step is I will show you my trick here. Okay, this is okay. Let me put this here inside. I will show you this. You can see here this special templates that we have here. I'm having a problem here. You can see here auto groups. You can see here I am having little floating quads or templates on the surface. So the reason why it's I'm attach a single polygon to each hem. The reason why I made this, if you have been watching my previous streams, maybe I have been showing this method many times when I was placing in the stones on different surfaces. This is the reason why it's my custom brush. This is my custom hem cutter. When you can see here, we have the shape of the stone, of the necessary cavity, but on top we have a small template attached to each cutter or to each negative form. That's the reason why when I am placing the cutters or the negative spaces, I am placing at the same time a little polygon or quad template on top of each. So the reason why this is going to be very easy now to start making the necessary holes, which are normally called as the light for the stone, or maybe the azur. I never learned how to pronounce the word in French. It's azur. It's like when you are I'll try to paint it much better. For example, when you are having a surface and you are placing a stone on the surface like this. So you are making an opening. This is the seat or the cavity that we already have. This is the cavity I showed you before. This I was using for making the negative subtraction using the boolean, but we are going to need a hole here, just for making a hole, just for giving an exit which the light will pass through and will make the hems shine more instead of put the stone in a solid surface. And we already have the seats or the negative space for the stone, but we still need the holes for each one. So we are going to need an individual hole for each hem size. That's the reason why I made that little template, because now I'm going to use my scene modeler, placing inside of each one of them. For example, this one, pressing my spacebar, I'm going to insert a nanomass to all of the polygons. Which nanomass? Pressing the M from the keyboard, let's select the cylinder. Now we can place one to each of them. So now it's time to go to the nanomass settings. Okay, I will answer you after. Yasaki Sandra. Most of the time it's quite difficult to pronounce your name, friends, so you are writing very complicated names to read. So I will answer you about how to keep your edges sharp while dynamizing something. Well, something is difficult. Maybe you need to increase your dynamic resolution. That's the main answer to your question, because Dynamis has not been made for creating hard surface or sharp edges. Dynamis is more for the behavior of the Dynamis. The Dynamis is more for like working with digital clay. So you at that point you are not worried about the edges or the sharp surfaces or corners. So you are just sculpting with a soft material, making forms. So it's difficult to keep the edges sharp with Dynamis. If you are looking for really sharp edges or clean edges, probably the Dynamis is not going to be the best options to work with. So you should go from Dynamis to Series Measure to start making polygroups and start cleaning those edges with different polygroups and so on. Do you know about 2D image to 3D model based measure? Are you talking about the new AI applications or software which transform a 2D image into a 3D object? So it's a new technology based on AI. I have been test them, some of them before, but I didn't like the results. But maybe it's gonna be the future. Maybe, I don't know. I prefer to live in the present when I'm talking about that. Okay, let's go to Nanomesh where I am. Yeah, I've been testing them, some of them, and the result that I got was not very good, or at least maybe it's going to be good at this point, at this moment, for considering the result as a starting point. So you are just giving an idea, so it's going to be good for creating your base mesh. So then you're gonna save time creating your base mesh, so you can import it inside of ZBrush and start transforming and start refining the forms. But in my opinion, based on my experience, I didn't experiment it very much, but we are not still getting clean and good results. Probably yes, but the application, I don't know it yet, but it's good for creating good starting points. looking for nanomesh. So it's gonna be the rotation. This doesn't matter. Maybe we are looking for the X 90 degrees. Maybe the offsets, they should be in the middle. And very important, go from proportional to fit. That means that each stone will get its own hole size. And now it's going to be, needs to be longer, needs to be bigger, like this. And then we can go from the inside, playing with the offset, maybe like this. Okay, you can see, let's see. It should be here. The location is going to be very important because you can see here we are about to start creating the holes for each stone. Of course, they are not going to be all of them necessary, most of them, because here you can see here we are not having enough space, because you can see these drills or these holes are biting or are destroying a little bit the border. So maybe it's not going to be a good idea, or maybe because in this case they are too close to the border. Well, we can transform them later if necessary. It's not going to be a big issue, but here we are having more or less. Let me check the size of the stone. If I turn off my boolean, if I change the size, maybe it's going to be okay, like this is going to be enough. Now once we're happy with the different settings, probably they are too long. Maybe they are too long, maybe, or not. Let's see, let's make it shorter, maybe something like this. Something like this. And now once we're happy with the results, we need to go to geometry and convert the best preview render, because we are just rendering the nanomesh results. We are not using real polygons. It's time to convert this into a real polygons. Click on this button, and now when they have been converted into real polygons, it's time to split. You can see the template from the cylinders or from the drills. Go into split, and now very important, instead of split to parts, split to similar parts, because ZBrush will recognize the differences between the templates and the cylinders. So split to similar parts. So we are gonna have yet here again the templates. If necessary, we need to play with them again or to fix things. But now the important thing is that we are having this. So we're having this drill here. I was using, let me remember, I don't remember its name. The name is I don't remember the name. It was a software that you use it through your browser. It is not, you don't need to install it on your computer. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name. No, I didn't know that you knew one 3D. Okay, I will check it out. Okay, the one I'm using is amazing on Hugging Face. What do you mean on Hugging Face? Are you talking about the face hugger from Alien or something? But I have to say that I'm not a big friend about EIs yet. I know that we are taking a step to the future using EI, but at this moment I prefer to keep practicing or keep learning traditional methods instead of trying to save time using EIs. I'm not a big friend about EI using today, but okay, I have to recognize that it's gonna be a big deal in the near future. But let me remember the name of the software I used. I don't remember. eye place. Okay. Okay. Hugging face is eye. And is it for faces or for heads or something? Or are you using it for any specific usage? This is the first thing that came to my mind when I read hugging. the face hugger for alien. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so we are having this. For example, we can now, I'm gonna try to go into auto groups, because here we are having a bunch of many different drills. Probably it's gonna be good. This is going to be the opening on the back, but I'm going to duplicate it. I'm gonna keep this as a backup, and I'm going to use this as a wider opening just for knowing what I'm doing inside of the head and on the border, like this. And then I'm going to select my drills. Maybe I will start working with this group. You, and you. I think they are the ones of this, the wing. Let me split them. So let's start working in groups. So let's start working with these ones. They are related for the wing. And now this is the topology that we have here. Okay, and maybe it's gonna be a good idea of no, let's see what we can do. You can see how weird it looks like when we move the piece. This is a rendering issue. Remember that when we are using live booleans, we are rendering, we are just it's like we are working inside of rendering mode. So maybe that's the reason why we are watching those kind of artifacts on the surface, and sometimes it's weird when we try to know. But okay, let's see. Let me grab this and let's push this in. Let's grab this and push this in. I'm looking for, they should be closer to the limits. This, something like this. And now I'm going to use my move topology brush with my AccuCurve active option active, and then I'm going to see I can start working with it, because I'm going to change the shape of the opening here. I'm doing this. Right, I'm changing the opening like this. As you can see, you can start changing the opening on the back. The reason why I'm using the AccuCurve option is like when I'm making a movement, the ending looks like a corner, like this. And with this process, we will create a kind of the name could be honeycomb shape or the openings. So we are removing more metal from the inside, so we're trying to create a nice pattern, something, making something like this. So we can start making something like this. So it's this, making something like that. You can see also we can use the same pattern that we have already created by the hollowing. You can see it's like making like kind of a cells pattern in the inside. start removing material like this using the existing corners that we have here and there, and we will get something more interesting. This is the name of this, is the word that I don't know to pronounce in French. It's the azur. It is the opening on the back part of the pieces when it has two different reasons. The main reason is to make an opening wider, just for making the light pass through the hems better. And the second purpose, or the second reason, and very important, is for remove more amount of material. So once we are having this, we can fix this and we can play them with the settings. So this is the mesh that we just created. We can group by normals, increase polygroup, let's subdivide it, and then maybe we can create a new mesh. Just for having cleaner surfaces, maybe the double better. Okay. I don't know, I'm having this kind of strange topology there. Okay. So make it same new topology now. Like this. Let's polish. Okay, this is what we are getting. We just create opening. What happens with this one? Here you can see here we are having a little floating island. Okay, looks like we have a hole there. Now let's close the holes. Okay, it works. So okay, let's save this. Let's save. Looks good. Again, same error. So save us. No aliens. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of aliens. Alien to 3D Union. It is a high face space by Tencent. Okay, it doesn't gain. It does gain models. I don't think they are aware or good for jewelry. Yeah. Well, it's not. Of course, I understand that it's not going to be very good for jewelry, but I'm thinking more about 3D printing the stuff. Doesn't matter we are creating a jewel or whatever, but base message. Yeah. Yeah, I'm agree with you. I'm having the same feeling about the time like you, so it's better to. Oops, here have a problem. This thing, we're having a problem here. Maybe the hole is too big. Yeah, we are talking about saving time. It's the same thing that, for example, today you need to sculpt something. Maybe you can start making a searching in Google about the kind of thing that you need to create. So maybe you will find pre-made base meshes to start working with. So instead of buy pre-made models or things that they are already made, you're gonna start using EI instead of that. At the same, it's going to be the same, but well, maybe as I said before, I prefer to wait a little bit more about the EI. Let's work with the head, with the holes of the head. No, I don't need this one. Split hidden, and then let's start. Maybe what I can do now, as an extra step, I can try to make a mask of the portion of the, like this. Oh, I prefer to use the transpose classic. Maybe I can, and then we can control this. For making this, let's shrink the mask. Try to do the same thing with the others. Third one, which be this one as well. But I will take a look to that one. And for what do you use it? What is the main purpose and the main reason why are you using that AI? Just for, or did you get good results in terms of good quality, about forms, about accuracy from the prompts you were using, or about the reference you were using? Because today the feeling is that you're having, it's good enough for start working, but it is not very accurate, but it saves me time for start making something. Okay, this is what I get. Groups by normals, crease. Okay, and now from this point is just a matter of keep working and keep defining, keep using it. I will remove some of the drills which are very close to the border. I don't going to use them. For example, if I select this tool, for example this one, this should go more or less here. They are going to be a blind cavities without holes, like this. So I can remove them, and I will try to leave only the ones which have more space and they are visible from the inside. This, for example, I can need to. The bad thing about this process, probably you are using a CAD software with mathematical operations. Maybe you can do things more automatically, or telling to the software to calculate things instead of doing things manually. that we most of the time do with ZBrush that I'm doing, but it's just a matter of time. The result is going to be the same. Maybe we are earning, or we are winning, or better finishing some better results with many tools that we have inside of ZBrush. So at the end, maybe it is not so important to don't have those mathematical operations. Maybe it's gonna be better to remove them instead of being remove this, not remove them, but maybe place them in a different subtool, because at this moment I'm not sure if I will use them or not. But at the end, I think it's going to be something like this. Okay. So I split hidden. I don't want to use them yet, and I can keep working on the other, trying to create this the same layout like this. And this does organic. Let's say you want to do a tree ring, it does all the branches, so that's what I calculate. I wish I could show. Okay, it takes about a minute, and you have more control over detail what you want to finish and changing the shape. Yeah, it has sense. I think at the end, if it is saving you time and you're happy with the results, okay, it's another way of working. Violet, you need to learn more about ZBrush. Also me. So I think we are here just for learning and for sharing knowledge, so we can be learning the whole life we need, so it is not the problem. Okay, so I need to hide this one also. Merge down. Okay, so to don't be here making the same thing the whole streaming, I'm gonna leave this for. I will make this after. For example, let's work on a different thing. Let's hide this. Maybe we're having the same issue here with the host. Close host. Okay, we're having subdivision doubles. Okay. There's a rendering issue. Okay, so I will try to show you a new different thing. This is the this is this way, and this is going to be. I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna put this. Okay. So another very common, necessary part to make when we are creating jewelry is this. For making the back cover, or most of the time there it is called the gallery of the back lining. I've been trying to know to learn the right word in English, but many people I have found that it has different names. But at the end we are having here a hole, and we are going to need a cover just for don't show the internal cavity of the piece. And we can do this. You can see here, just changing the icon from this one to this one. If we tell now to ZBrush, make me the boolean, go into here, make the boolean folder, we will get this piece, and we put it inside of the folder. we keep this as it was before, this like this one, it was like this. So now we have the same thing, but we are just made the cover exactly fitting opening of the hole, just changing the icon from positive to the name of this is the addition, subtraction, and this is the difference. This is another icon. And from here, what I do is this thing, the thickness of this piece is 0.8 millimeter. Maybe we can make it thinner. It's going to be necessary to be thinner, so turn this off. We will, because we don't want to change all of the measurements. We don't want to change all of the axes. We only need to change this one. Maybe we can go from 0.8 to 0.7 to make a thinner piece of material. Maybe 0.65 like this, and this is what we get. And if it is not going to fit exactly the same, it's going to be necessary to make it a little bit smaller. The problem that we have here, even if we send the gizmo to the center, maybe you can see the offset is not 100% precise, but it's not going to be a big issue because we can change it. And the way to do this is to try to create a little offset between the because if not, it's going to be necessary to create how do you say this, is to create a soldering thread or path or line or covering the whole perimeter or profile. And using this method that I'm about to show you, it's gonna be much better in terms of handwork. So let's try to keep it separated. And then we are here 0.4 millimeters. 0.4 millimeters, it's okay. If you are about 0.3 millimeter, it's going to be good enough. Like this. You can see these two strange line I'm having here. It's because the topology. Maybe I can make a new topology. Give me the same with the polygroups. And make a polish, so we can do that. Let's save this. Miguel Carvajal. Hello, thank you very much for your stream. Thank to you for being here watching the streaming. Can you tell me what's the name of that annotation? Yes, this is the Epic pen. I will write it down in English. Is Epic pen. Epic pen. This tool. Violet, my sculpting skill were so bad that my teacher. I know that. Okay, this is how much time have you been using ZBrush? Because you just started. Maybe it's a matter of spending time practicing. Or probably you are having a style that it's hard to recognize. So this is what we get, and now I will grab this tool with this capsule, and I will make it something like this. Let's see how big is this. From left to right, 1 millimeter. Okay, it's enough. Let's split max points. Maybe we can make it wider, something like this, and put in something like this. Okay, and let me change. Okay, the thing is not going to necessary to change the topology. Maybe it's subdivided. And let's start creating the soldering points. here, and the other one here. Maybe here. This one here. Another one here. Another one here. And the last one. Okay, it needs to be cut it. Maybe with a clip curve. Here. A little bit more. Okay, like this. And we can duplicate it. We can use this one, just on Control C, because this should be negative, right? Just for having the necessary part. So we are having this little keys for just for putting this. So and this part should be connected with this one. Merge down. Okay, with this one. And also we can, for example, we can make them longer. So like this. Okay. So we have something like this. The other one should be longer as well. This. And then we can create a nice drawing or nice pattern. Oops. On like this. I think ZBrush will start getting tighter. It's time to save the file. Violet is asking, how can I flatten the surface of the object like you? I usually use the flat brush, but it doesn't seem to work as well as yours. Depending on the kind of flatten system you are using. For example, if you are using a sphere, you can use the clip curve brush. So the B, C, where are you? Here, clip curve. You should use this brush in combination of two keys, Control Shift. So got it. Control Shift. You can Control Shift and start clipping. Keep in mind that you are not cutting the mesh. You are just hitting the mesh. You are just clipping the mesh. So be careful. For example, you can clip this, but you can't clip this. If you do this, you can see what happens because you are just squeezing the mesh. If you want to remove part of the mesh, you can use B and where is it? And knife, the knife curve brush. The same thing as before. Control Shift, you can start cutting things like this, or you can Control Shift. Now you can release your fingers from Control Shift, and then you can start using the space bar to relocate the curve, or using the Alt key to start bending the curve, and then if you tap 2 times on the Alt key, you start creating corners like this, and then you are going to be able to start creating things like this. If you are using BH, the polish brush, it's like you are using a file or a sanding tool. You can gonna be able to start sanding things manually just for getting different results. So it's like flatten things manually, depending on if you are looking for a texture or you are looking for cutting things. You have both ways. And you're welcome, Miguel. Hey, Ed, I have finally found your life. Yeah, it's so hard to find. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for being here watching the stream. Thanks to you for being here. So I think if any of you want to know when is going to happen my next streaming, the only thing that you need to make is going to the ZBrush Live webpage, and then you go to the calendar. You will find the schedule of all of the month streamings for all of the artists. Most of the time they are set up about the current month, but I mean that you want to know what is going to happen in April. You can see nothing is scheduled or updated yet, but during the month you can check out when. You can see this is today, this is my streaming. The streaming after me is going to be Chloe, Worthy, and now tomorrow we're gonna have 2 more streamings, 2 more. Then here you will find the whole schedule here. And also I think you can set up a reminder. I don't know if you can do that, but probably you can. Hey Violet, you're welcome. Next step, so I will select this one. I'm going to click the solo mode. I'm gonna isolate this poly group. Gonna make a mask as I did before. Go into the masking options. I will start diluting. Hard to pronounce this word. This dilute. So we're gonna start shrinking the mask, diluting the mask, sharpening the mask. If I need to know how thick is this from left to right here, having point, yeah, 1/2 millimeter. Okay, perfect. So we can start painting a kind of a pattern here. Let me see what we can do. If we go to the focal shift, -100, lazy mouse, we can add a kind of feathers, for example, feathers pattern we can make here. Maybe we can create something like this. You should keep in mind that the black or the dark areas are going to be empty spaces. So we can some kind of random pattern like this. I don't like it. Maybe let's try to find a better balance here, and here. Maybe we can put an extra here, and then we can something. No, maybe we can. Let's go farther with the feathers. That's something. Nope. Maybe you need to try to avoid very small windows. Maybe with this. Let's try with this. Now we can extract now. Going to the extract options, extract, accept. We remove the mask, polish and good, not that much. And now we can And now we can turn this on. So this is what we are doing. There's an opening on the back. Okay, I think I need to think more about this because I like it, but not too much. It's just a matter of finding the right design or distribution. But you should think about the size of this, because here we are talking about a piece of 10 millimeter, 1 centimeter. This is going to be a very tiny piece. So in reality, it's not going to be so important, but I think like this is going to be enough. I think let's save this. I mean that we are not having too much space for making very complicated or intricated and complex forms, but I'm looking for a nice, attractive shape, and that's it. So let's try, we can tweak it just for getting better results here. Maybe we can create some corners here. This is going to be maybe something like this. How many years have you been in this sculptor industry? I have been working as a professional for 10 years, and I have been using ZBrush for 17 years. Just for as a hobbyist, and using ZBrush professionally as a freelance digital sculptor for 10 years. And does that size set the live so I can watch it again? Yeah, sure. You will, if you go to YouTube or Twitch. I don't know if Twitch is holding the streams or the videos forever. I don't know. As far as I know, YouTube, yes. But if you go to the Maxon or to the ZBrush Pixologic channel, let me find it. For example, here. If you go to the Maxon ZBrush channel, YouTube channel, we are here now, live. And you scroll down, you go to live videos, you will find this is the current video I'm making now. This one was the streaming before me, the streaming three days ago, 4 days ago, 6 days ago, and here you have all of them, the whole collection from months or even years. If you scroll down here, this is the one I made about this design 1 month ago. This is the one I made 2 months ago. If you keep scrolling, you will find more of my streamings, for example here, or more of the other artists' streamings. And if you go to the list, you will keep finding more and more stuff, more people teaching ZBrush, showing what they do with ZBrush for many different applications. For example, here you can find my list. If you click on the list, no, here. If you are clicking on the list, you will find this is not the whole collection or all of my previous streamings since 2 years ago, maybe more than 2 years ago. But if you go to my channel under my name, here I have here my ZBrush live streamings collections updated. This is it. You go to my ZBrush live streams. Here you can see here all of them collected in one place. So this is the one The first one happens 3 years ago. I started streaming here with Pixologic and now with Maxon for 3 years. No, times fly. And then I try to make one stream once a month. Before I was making 2, but today I'm just scheduling only 1 by month. That's it. Okay, so this is what we already get. So I think, as I was saying at the beginning of the streaming, I think I will work on this in my free time just for finish it, and I will start a new design next month in April. I will try to find my day and I will start making a completely brand new design from scratch as usual. From the concept, from the idea till more or less maybe 90%, 85% already done, ready for 3D printing jewelry design. So, and this is what we get so far. I still need to keep working on more drills on the inside for all of the holes. It's going to be necessary. Okay, if I already have 4 minutes, I will show you how to place all of the stones at once with my cards technique or my template technique. Remember this little cards. If I go to my light box, to my tool sections, here I have a diamond cut mesh. If I go to my cards, I use the C modular, insert nano mesh, all polygons. If I now press the M key and I select the diamond, I'm going to be able to place all at once. Maybe let's change the material. Let's put this mRGB fill object. And now we should go to the nanomesh settings. Remember, very important, change from proportional to fit, because we are using different stone sizes or hem sizes. And now it's a matter of fitting the hole, the cavity or the seat for each one. Let's place them. Maybe they should be 1.4, maybe 2. Yep. Change the offset a little bit. No, 2 is too much. 1.5, like this. Okay, yeah, like this is okay. We can put this. This is just for rendering, right? So I would need to use this when I need to create the render. Okay, 0.7. No. 0.7, no, 7, like this, no, 0.4, I'm here, so minus 0.67, minus 0.65, no, minus 0.075, yeah, like this maybe. This. So convert BPR to geometry, split to similar parts. This is the stones, this is the here, this is the fill object, and now it's gonna be time to start thinking about the different colors, because the idea that I have now is for putting different groups of colors depending on if they are placed on the head or they are placed on the wings, on the chest, so they should be grouped as different colors with different color surfaces and so on. But this is going to be, it's going to take a bit of time, but maybe this prong is going to be necessary to boost this. Get this a little bit far with the, and it's not going to be easy because the stone is held by the 3 prongs, but this is decorative, this prong. Okay, and this is what we get during 3 3 streamings, so it still need more work, but I know I don't want to be very boring about the content of the streaming, so that's the reason why I try to being using the same design at least during 3 streamings. At the next one I try to change the idea, the concept, to start showing different things, because at some point processes becomes repetitive, so I don't want to be here the whole time talking during 2 hours or an hour and a half talking and making the same thing for a whole streaming. The hand brush is, this one is not free. I made it by myself, or a friend of mine who gave me the different cuts of the stones. But I think, as far as I know, you can find, let me, hand brush, ZBrush. You taping this, you will find maybe here, looking for the images. Here we have one. Also here we have a one for an XMD. Jeweler cut hemstones. I don't know if it is for free or no. Yeah, this is for free. You can see you can use this one. You can see here it has different hem cuts. You will find it on ArtStation, and they should be more. For example, this one. This is for crystals, and also has this hem cuts. They're not the classic round and different. Let me check if it is available to download. If I scroll down, I don't know. Here, it's already sold in ArtStation, and this is not free. You need to pay for 83 euros. But there are many other options. You have more here. Another one here. No, this is, looks like this one is the same. Okay. And also you can make your own if you want. Okay. So 23 years old now. 21. Okay, now, yeah. Keep practicing and keep using ZBrush. The key is the passion that you have for using ZBrush. If you have the passion, you will find the time and you will keep practicing. So it's a matter of time. So you just started. So keep working, and that's it. Okay, so see you next month. I don't know when. Maybe my streamings happens around the middle of the month, end of the month. So I will see you here again talking about jewelry and ZBrush in April. So thank to everybody for having here watching my streaming. Hope it has been useful for you or interesting, and we will see you here next month. So see you, take care, and thanks. Bye.
Uno.
Eso es, bien Íñigo.
Se está metiendo en los cuartos de final el Barça. ¿Y con quién jugará? ¿Con el Dortmund o con Lille? Mañana se define. Empataron 1-1 en la ida. Mañana en Francia la vuelta. Otamendi. Para Dal. Para Renato. En el campo del Barça. Renato Sánchez. La deja atrás para Silva, que va orientándose hacia la derecha. Silva. Pavlidis. Parece que picó habilitado. Igualmente de Cheni, que salió bien hasta la puerta de su área. Bien.
Saca la rodilla ahí.
Igualmente había fuera de juego de Leo.
Saca la rodilla, Chesnik ahí.
Fuera de juego, claro. Por delante de la línea de Íñigo.
Bueno, lo que está claro que los dos equipos han bajado un poco, han bajado una marcha, ¿eh?
¿Has visto cómo Renato le deja la pierna? Ahí le mete el pie a Pedri. Es que Renato ha sido un espectador de lujo. Ha dicho, ¿quién es este que no le podemos quitar el balón de ninguna de las maneras? Que nos está liando el taco allí y aquí.
Larga la bola de Chesney, la baja su compatriota Lewandowski. Atrás Valde para Íñigo Martínez. Juega el Barça con seguridad, la pide Pedri, se la dan a Pedri de primera para De Jong, que bien que se entienden, vuelve para Pedri, Pedri que ahora Magui sale para adelante, toca para el medio, vuelve para